You know what, folks? I want to get something out of the way. In the title up there, it says it really best. The question a lot of people have had, doesn't matter who you are, whether you say it happened, whether you say it didn't happen, is basically was Sally's weaponization, or Sally being weaponized, too graphic? Let me explain. At the end, the last panel that a lot of people have put up, in fact, it's a panel, it's a page, it's a picture that a certain DA group, anti-DA group, uses. And basically it's a picture of Eggman, Robotnik, whatever you call him, holding a blowtorch to Sally, to Mecha Sally, or Sally's roboticized face. Now, a lot of people have come out and gone on record and said he has basically off panel, he cut her open, replaced her body parts, or just cut her head off, or whatever you want to call it, and placed it on a new body, blah, 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 whatever. Basically saying that he ripped her apart. Some fans are even saying, because of talking to each other, that because, from what we understand from, I guess, various sources, Mobians, even in roboticized form, could still feel, even when they're roboticized, could still feel pain. A lot have said that because of this, Sally's character, off panel, probably felt the blowtorch going through her and cutting her apart. But that is still up for debate, folks. And here's why. Who's to say he did cut her apart? Who's to say it? I mean, yes, was the weaponization too graphic, or was it too much? That's a question. You know, some people will say it wasn't, some people will say it was. People will make comparisons. But do you think it was too much? And do you think, honestly, I'll even, I'm going to hit you with this because, like I said, do you think the weaponization was too much, too graphic? Or, as it will probably say in the description box, do you think he just welded some metallic parts, some weaponized parts onto her? Because, let's be honest. I'm not debating whether or not he did what many people assume he did off-panel, or Ian Flynn basically cliffhanged everybody with, because that's what it was. It was nothing more than a cliffhanger. But he basically cliffhanged a lot of people with the fact that he had basically left it up to speculation. Basically, whether or not he had Eggman cut Sally open, or with a blowtorch and all that. But we don't know that. See, we honestly don't know. And again, it's up for debate, it's up for speculation. But was it too much? And was it too graphic if what many have said is true? Because let me look at it, let me explain it this way. Do you think, after all the effort that Archie Comics, in association with Sega, and in association at the time with Dick Entertainment, and mostly Sega themselves, do you think they would go as far? Now, I know people might say, well, Brian, it's not Sega of America anymore, and blah, blah, blah. It's not STI. But let me explain. Do you think Sega, overall, after everything they've put into these characters related to Sonic, even this one, even her, do you think they would go that far? Well, a lot of people have compared and said, well, they went pretty far in some of the games. You saw Beta getting dismantled in Sonic Adventure. You saw Sonic getting stabbed in the chest. You saw Maria getting shot down. And the list could go on and on. Heck, you can even throw Blaze in what she did in that category in Sonic 06. But the point I'm trying to make is, even though they went that far, those were visually seen. But don't you think maybe they feel cutting up a character even off screen would be a little too much? Probably would be. Especially when a character is as popular as her, whether people want to believe it or not. I mean, do you think, honestly, Archie Comics would take everything that a previous writer had done right here? Do you think they would take these this miniseries that they did back, 17 years ago, and throw it all away and just go out the window with it? Do you think they would just toss it to the side and be done with it and allow Ian to say, okay, go ahead, write it in that she's, being torn apart, being welded apart with a blowtorch? That, her body's being taken apart courtesy of a blowtorch. Do you think that would be allowed? Do you think Sega, after they allowed Dick Entertainment to make these covers for the VHS, with them on top of the Sonic symbol, do you think Sega would even allow that to happen, no matter what you think of them? Do you think they would honestly allow that to happen? I sure as heck don't. And do you think, honestly, when Sega World in Sydney was around, do you think they would allow all the effort they helped put into this go to waste? Do you think they would allow that to be tossed out the window? No. No, I don't, honestly. I don't honestly think they would, despite how you feel about them. Because they know certain characters, whether they're playable in the games or not, still make money for them. They still make money for them. All the mugs, all the drinking, all the zippy cups, everything, the t-shirts, the overalls that had her picture on it, that was sold at places like Sega World. Do you think, honestly, Sega would want to get rid of that, knowing she made them a lot of money 15 years ago? No, of course not. So that's why I honestly think, in my opinion, my honest-to-God opinion, folks, that I don't think Sega would allow Archie Comics or even any of its writers to do what, they feel they have done. I mean, honestly, I don't think they allowed that to happen. I mean, I know some will say, but it did. But Brian, you don't know that. B.W. Roses, you don't know that. Brian, you don't know what happened. Let me ask you this. Have you seen the final draft? Have you seen, not the final draft, but have you seen an early draft? Did the early draft say, oh, by the way, at the end of comic, Eggman starts, puts a blowtorch to her face and starts welding her apart? Did we see an early draft of that? No. I didn't see one. I'm sure anybody listening to this video has never seen one. So do we honestly know that happened? We don't. And believe it or not, there have been cases where people characters in her situation have had armor welded onto them. They've had it done to them. Everybody likes to say, let's use Star Trek references. There's a Star Trek reference that was used into Boldly Flee with Nostalgia Chick. One of the main Star Trek characters in Next Generation had some kind of device implanted into her head. And she was given a new outfit. Did whoever did that to her have to replace her body parts or replace any part of her to do it? No. All they did was put a little bit of a mind control thing in her head, give her a new outfit, that was it. They didn't say, okay, we're going to have to chop off your hands, or we're going to have to give you a robotic hand now, or we're going to have to do this and that. No, they didn't. When Jean Grey became the Phoenix, did she have to, did Marvel decide, okay, let's have her grow wings in the back of herself. Let's have her grow wings. Or let's have her replace her arm with, let's basically have her body be just complete fire now, and that's it, nothing more. Besides just being a bird form. But you get the point I'm trying to say. Get the point I'm trying to. Do you think when Mary Jane in the original Ultimate Spider-Man, do you think when she became the Demon Goblin, whatever it was, do you think they chopped off her arm and gave her a prosthetic arm or a robotic arms to prevent it from happening again? No, they didn't. Look, I know I'm rambling a lot, everything here, but the point I'm trying to make is we don't know what happened, okay? For all we know, the body part, all we know is the legs here could have had metal just welded around them, all the way around, every inch. Every inch could have had something welded around it. A piece of metal, that's my dog right there, I'm sorry about that. Could have had a piece of metal welded all over every inch of it. Every inch of her body could have had metal rounded around her. You know what I'm saying? The point I'm trying to make is this: is her body didn't, her legs were not replaced. She could have had, like I'm trying to say, could have had metal welded around her, weaponized metal, advanced armor welded on every inch of her body, covering it, so it looks like she has a new body. But we don't know that. But the thing is, we don't know if that's true or not, and we don't know if what people are saying is true or not, what other people proclaim or accuse of what Ian of doing has occurred. We don't know that. We don't know. So again, the question is, was the weaponization too much, and do you think she was either cut up or just had armor welded onto her? Let me know down below, video response if you like. But again, I'm telling you folks, there is no way, after all the effort they've put into her. I mean, they even have, here's another thing. Why would they have her in the front, along with Sonic and Knuckles, in the front, right up in your face on the cover of the upcoming encyclopedia? Why? Why would they have her on the best of the Sonic the Hedgehog book? Why would they have that, huh? If they didn't have confidence in this character, if they didn't like this character, they didn't feel this character was popular enough to stay around. It's because they do. And there's no way, storyline-wise or not, they would pass a finalized draft where he would say, oh, by the way, off panel, Eggman takes her apart with a blowtorch. No way they would allow that to happen. Everybody knows it. I know it. But again, it's up for debate. Do you think the weaponization was too much and too graphic? And do you think maybe it's just, and do you think she was cut up? Or do you think it's just some advanced weaponized armor that was placed on her? Let me know down below what you guys think. Comment if you like, and I'll talk to y'all later.